By now you should feel happy with where to get your kit and how to set up a tripod for shooting, so it's time for us to familiarise ourselves with the camera itself. Starting at the rear of the camera, we can see a black and white eyepiece, a colour LCD viewfinder, a slot for the battery, a DC jack-in for connecting a power lead, the power switch for the camera, and a set of controls which we'll come to in later videos. On the right side of the camera, we have a cassette compartment for our tape, XLR sockets for our microphones, a headphone port, video outputs for viewing and capturing footage, a zoom ring, and a focus ring. On the front of the camera, we have a shutter switch. With this closed, the camera will just be recording black. Once open, check for any smears or thumbprints. If there are any, you can remove them using a soft cloth, lightly moistened with a neutral detergent. If you check this at the loan counter, they'll be able to clean the lens there and then. On the left side of the camera, we have ND filters, iris controls, settings for the audio, and the colour LCD viewfinder. If we open out the LCD, we can see that underneath the viewfinder we find an assortment of camera controls. Don't worry about these for now. If you have to shoot on location, you may be far from any sort of power source. For this reason, all cameras come to you with a battery in the kit. Large NP F970 batteries will run the camera for approximately 7 hours, though leaving the colour LCD open will run the battery down much quicker. If you're going on a long shoot or covering an event where you're taking a lot of footage, it would be advisable to ask for a second battery at the loan counter. Most batteries will have a small arrow located at the bottom that lets you know which way it is to be inserted into the camera. If there is no arrow or the marking has been rubbed off, simply turn the battery round and look for the contacts. These should be at the bottom as you slot the battery into the camera. When the cameras come back to the loan counter, you should take the battery out. Press the battery release button at the rear of the camera and push the battery lightly from underneath to release it. Often you will be shooting indoors where you can run the camera off the main supply. Simply open the DC-in jack cover on the rear of the camera and plug in the power lead provided. With the battery supply plugged in, you can charge a flat battery, but you will need to ensure that the power switch is set to off. The camera now displays the battery's current charge level on the outside of the LCD viewfinder. Let's look again at the power switch. We have 4 modes that we can choose from. Off, we've covered. Set it to this to preserve or charge battery. The other 3, VCR, camera and memory, will go through now. We change mode to VCR by pressing in the small green button and pushing the switch over to VCR. We see the colour LCD viewfinder turns blue, and the transport controls under the handle illuminate. If we were to place a recorded tape into the camera, we could use these buttons to navigate through and screen our footage. We set the power switch to camera mode when we want to record. Provided you've opened the camera shutter, you should see an image in the viewfinder. The head-up display gives you an idea of battery life, amongst some other useful information we'll cover in the light levels lesson. You will also see a blinking yellow icon letting us know there is no tape in as of yet. On the side of the viewfinder, you have control over volume when reviewing footage and can control the brightness of the LCD. Be careful with this, as setting it too high or too low can give you an unrealistic impression of what you're shooting. You can also use the black and white eyepiece to view your recording. Sometimes this is advisable in uncontrolled lighting environments, as the LCD can glare a little. The last mode on our power switch is memory mode, which you can see is horribly jerky. This mode is designed for taking pictures on a memory card and will inform you that you do not have one inserted. Do not use this mode ever. The camera should come to you with this mode locked off, so you can't enter it by accident. But if this isn't the case, just slide the lock at the top of the power switch over, so you can no longer enter the mode. On the front right-hand side of the camera, we have our video output sockets hidden under a rubber cover. Open this, and we have a variety of connections we can use to play out our footage on a television or capture it digitally to a computer. These sockets are RCA connections for a domestic television. We have plenty of AV cables in the loan counter if you are thinking about viewing your rushes. The PD170 can also output over the less common S-Video, for which you'll need an S-Video lead. If you want to get your footage onto a computer at home, the PD170 will also let you capture over FireWire. We have plenty of FireWire leads in the loan counter. You will just need to know which type your home computer takes.